live on Spotify.com and also my Joy99.7FM app. In this edition, as traditional rulers demand impartial probe into our piety on track.
Criminal investigation, the compliance investigation, the regulatory investigations, all of those are ongoing in earnest.
We have details as resettlement of displaced persons to a temporary shelter takes off.
This time we are going to be targeting families. We want to try as much as possible to start putting them in the groupings in which they were when...
Near fisticuffs as police enforce entry into compound of paint-producing company after it emerged they had illegally tapped into the lines of the Ghana Water Company Limited for the past 36 months.
The line is actually hidden. It's behind their factory. So we need to access it and then get our men to do the disconnection. And that's what they are not allowing us to get inside.
This water out all the time. So the kind of picture that they're portraying that the water is serving all these tanks, including all our systems here, is false.
Ghana to undertake production of COVID-19 vaccines locally under a fill and finish agreement with some global pharmaceutical giants.
We're going to build a Pan-African project with these two sister African states, where initially the fill and
an assembly plant here. You need government's intervention.
Senegal and Rwanda, and much later.
Don't really know.
We have that and more Plateau, and this is the Midday. The resident Napo says if of the western regions, Maxwell Ogbagba tells the story.
the saint might.
Joy 99.7.
Maxwell Ogbagba with that report. I'll go to him live shortly, but first, Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo says restoring survivors to decent livelihood.
The regulatory investigations, all of those are ongoing and ongoing in earnest. So that has been done. The second one is the support, relief, and assistance to the victims of this tragic incident. But even more importantly is the reconstruction of the community, the total reconstruction of the community, and in a manner which will be modern, which will be fit for purpose, because they had to relocate villages. And you find community centers, you find playground, cheap palaces, you'll find church, mosque, schools, modern communities. So we need to reconstruct the Apiati community, the whole industry.
Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo. Now, the Chamber of Mines is meanwhile calling on government to hasten the investigations. It is estimating that the nation risks losing $1.75 million every week. Now, the company at the center of the explosion, Maxam, remains suspended. Suleiman Akoni is Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines.
Week, yes. If these companies they run out of explosives and they can't get alternative supply and everything grinds to a halt, trust me, most of the companies, the company supplies are on the edge as we speak. They don't have adequate stocks. Most of them leave effectively just-in-time delivery, maximum a day or two stock at a time. So in terms of production, because without explosives, you cannot blast, you cannot mine. We all know it's a straightforward thing. So it's one of the challenges we certainly would be confronted with. And it will affect government as well. Of course, once it affects production, then the downstream benefits of mining, which we all talk about.
That's the Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Suleimana Koni. They're painting a picture about the impact on the mining sector once Maxam remains suspended. Maxwell Ogbagba is on the ground. Let's go live to him now. And we're told that the minister, amongst others, have been interacting with traditional...
Well, the chief of the court, Nana Adabring, has been wading into the controversy about whether there was a police escort with a vehicle carrying explosives. He was emphatic that there was no police escort except anyone who claims the worth of this escort should show up in the community. In its response, the Land and Natural Resources wants to continue with the enormous support it has provided so far and will continue to ensure the reconstruction of their community.
Nana, there is no investigation that will take place without engaging you, the residents. In this time of distress, despite the government's efforts, evil ones will try to get you to agitate and demonstrate. Don't listen to them.
Vice President Baha,
Well, Maxwell, on this issue about the police escort, have we heard from the police actually on it?
Well, we've not heard from the police on this issue because the last time we heard from them was last week Friday on this issue.
Well, let's talk about the resettlement efforts. Where are we with it?
In the last settlements, we've been receiving updates that the displaced persons will move to the new shelter in some hours. We're told it's more spacious with better facilities and also closer to the front of protected persons. I've been speaking to Deputy Director General of National
They were when before the incident happened. So basically, that's the essence of. So at this process, yes, we are at the recovery stage, but we still have things that will have to make life comfortable for the people. We still need to provide those things. Water, for instance, is also needed, but there's already a supply of that round of assessment in here. We are going to engage with the displaced persons briefly and find out how they are. And you also know that the Ghana Health Service has provided some of their nurses and staff who are standby and helping out. Then from there, we'll go to the new site, have our last meeting there with all the agencies. The incident command set up.
Director General Saji Amadonu there, speaking to my colleague Maxwell Agbagba, whom you heard earlier. Apologies for that terrible connection to his line there. Now, authorities in the Ejusu municipality have launched investigations into circumstances under which heavy lifting machine was used to carry timber in the busy traffic intersection on the Ejusu-Kumasi Road. Residents are incensed at a viral video showing the dangerous scene of the heavy lifting machine. Driver maneuvered his way around in an attempt to transport the log. Samuel Oduro-Frimpong is the municipal chief executive.
So I've asked the commander to get me all those who are involved in doing what they did. It was so dangerous, everybody has been complaining about it.
So as it stands now, no arrest.
Because the sawmill is a local sawmill, he's been there, he has contacted the owner of the sawmill, so the driver, I'm sure, together with the owner, will be brought to the police station this morning.
In the video, I don't know whether you've seen it yourself in full, but there was a point in time where there was a police officer on the road. What about him?
I asked the commander, what was that police officer doing there? And he said, no, because the skidder was bringing the log, they wanted to ensure that they stop all the cars to allow the skidder to be able to carry the log away. So that is why he was there to control traffic. That is the account of the NPP.
So which means that the police themselves allowed this to happen, knowing very well that it was dangerous.
Yes. So for that one, they're coming.
Will there be any actions on them as well?
Yes, please. We have just begun investigation. Whilst he is doing his, we shall also be doing ours. So at the end of the day, whoever is involved in that dangerous act will not be spared.
That's Samuel Oduro-Frimpong, the municipal chief executive for Ejusu there, speaking to Love FM's David Akwete. Meanwhile, the National Road Safety Authority says it is concerned about the incident and called for a discussion over the carting of timber in the country. Kwame Kodua Echiahene is head of regulation, inspection and compliance.
We must bring all the key partners to the table. And the forest department is one. I heard my brother say that for them, they check to see that these logs are put together in things and all of it. When you see them on our road, it doesn't inspire confidence. So we might have to take a second look at it. They may give permits for the log, but what are the minimum safety standards for vehicles, trucks, or drivers that transport these trucks, these logs. We must figure that out together.
That's the National Road Safety Authority's Head of Regulation, Inspection and
That's why I said, talk to him. The manager is here.
And there were near fisticuffs on the premises of Chemicals Co. Ghana Limited, BBC, producers of Leyland Paint, as a joint team from the police and Ghana Water Company Limited were denied entry into the compound. This follows a revelation that the company had illegally been tapping water from the national pipeline since 2019. According to the water company, Chemicals BBC has been drawing water from its tanks and cooling systems. They were under strict instructions not to allow anyone entry. Sole Zakumia is Ghana Water Company Limited's communications manager for the Accra West region.
Yesterday, we detected some illegal connection in this premises. That is BBC Leyland Paint producers. We couldn't disconnect the line because it's a big line and we need more materials before we can do the disconnection. So this morning we are here to deliver a letter that is surcharging them and also to access the line and disconnect it. The line is actually hidden. It's behind their factory. Where it is really it's behind the building. So we need to access it and then get our men to do the disconnection. And that's what they are not allowing us to get inside. They are not opening the gate for us to.
So it took the intervention of a police escort on the operation to force.
I'm not going to be able to confirm anything until my management speaks. But what is going on right now is the picture that is being portrayed is a wrong picture. All these tanks that you see here are not for storage of water. They are for storage of white spirits and diesel because we produce alkyd resins, which is chemicals. We don't use water here at all. The only water that we use is this cooling system. Why sometimes we top it up is when the heat from the boilers consume and evaporates the water. Then we top it up, and these things happen very, very rarely in about 4 or 5 months period. We do not top this water up all the time. So the kind of picture that they're portraying that the water is serving all these tanks, including all our systems here, is false.
So that's a representative of Chemicals Co. Ghana Limited, producers of Leyland Paint. That's a BBC company. Well, let me bring in the communications manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited in Accra West Region, Sole Zakumia. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News, ma'am. So we've been hearing from the company, amongst others.
Well, MFI, I am sure that you don't expect them to agree or to say that they actually did an illegal connection. They'll definitely deny it. So this morning when we went there, they actually opposed, they didn't want to allow us in at all. We were able to get inside. And finally, when we got inside, they were trying to be a bit the issue, but it is really true that they
had actually
their use of water, also disconnecting the line. What we have informed them, what we've told them to do is appropriate meters so that there will be lines. And we have asked them to come. Come to the office. But
we're grateful. This is an issue we'll definitely follow up on. That so is demanding the immediate, in the view of the minority, the registration of the Ghana card, if not checked, could undermine the country's democracy, citing plans by the current administration to use it for the 2024 elections.
And they raise a legitimate issue that in that community, less than 10-20 people have national ID card. And there were problems even with SIM registration. We have heard the Chief Executive of National Identification Authority describe SIM registration as a useless activity, to quote him, senseless, and that it was not. I'll get his exact words. I say I will quote his exact words for the answer.
That's the Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We've been to Apieti, where traditional rulers are demanding an impartial probe into the Apieti disaster. When we return, we have sport and then the fill and finish procedure.
So it's like assembling a car. We're establishing an assembly plant here. You need government's intervention to facilitate discussion between the original owners so that the private sector can be allowed to copy.
I have details of that, plus the new rules in the United Kingdom. And are you ready for some ballet lessons?
Those people don't really know them. brings you to my house this early morning. I hope all is well.
All is never well with me, Onikbakbo. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are not giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small stealing. I am tired.
I told you so, Efokoku.
It's all because you are trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlum has products statements. Prices start from $35,000. Housing.com or simply call 0270-166-166. Edlum Housing, where spacious homes cost less.
This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. Let's do sports.
Indefinite today. Yes, it's still a conversation.
Oh, okay.
But the Ghana Football Association have resolved to part company with him. We expect an official statement within the next 24 hours. What we understand is that they've told the Ministry of Youth and Sports they will pay him a compensation of $400,000 instead of the $270,000. We cannot explain how they arrived at the $400,000, but for us not to speculate, sensation plus the $270,000, that will give it $370. But the GFA says it's $400,000. But the ministry have said that part company with him will have the discussion later.
Really?
That's what is currently happening.
It's okay. We'll talk later. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about COVID. And, Ghana will, in the next few weeks, start the construction of a facility to produce between Ghana, Senegal, Rwanda, and Germany biotechnology company will result in local vaccine for the treatment of viruses as well as tuberculosis and malaria. President Akufo-Addo disclosed this at the opening of the New Year School at the University of Ghana.
Cannot be questioned to produce an indigenous or Ghanaian vaccine to combat plants for the fill, finish, and packaging of COVID-19 vaccines. I will on 16 February, together with His Excellency Monsieur Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal, and His Excellency Mr. Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, inspect in Marburg, Germany.
Presidential COVID-19 coordinating team, Dr. Asamoah.
There are already known vaccines, like AstraZeneca, like Pfizer. They are already, the testing has been done, the research has been done, the vaccine is in use. And we want to be able to copy it in Ghana. In order to do that, be allowed to copy. How do we copy vaccines that are already known? The first is copying something that is already known. Pfizer vaccines or polio vaccines. All this we import. So it's like assembling a car. We're establishing an assembly plant here. We have strong pharmacy
in there. But we'll stay a while longer on COVID because close to 8 million Ghanaians have received at least one jab in the ongoing mass vaccination exercise. The president has been providing updates on that. I'll take you to the United Kingdom for those of you planning to travel there. The United Kingdom says the outbreak of COVID-19 has recorded 16 million cases, 100 in UK soon. Joins me in studio with the latest. So we can't wear masks again.
So, effective today, no masks. That's according to the UK government. There will be no masks in the UK. Also, people can go about their normal duties without necessarily no masks required in shops, not on public transport, in schools, not outside. Better yet, the removal of masks in schools effectively today, and also working remotely is cancelled beginning today.
No working from home as well.
No COVID vaccination card or passes before you are allowed to do anything. Everything is off the table.
Okay, I wish you could have spoken to the presidential advisor on this. Since we are copying a lot, let's see if we'll relax our systems as well. AD is very unpopular in most parts of Africa. In Ghana, it is largely a preserve of the affluent and the privileged. We all know that. But one young woman wants to break that trend and help disadvantaged children learn ballet. My colleague Justice Bedu went to see
one of the students learning to dance.
Say would want to learn.
Introduced to ballet, fell in love with the dance and
even the children on the street in public bus.
We cannot help. SawiEnd.com, and we are fast tracking the printing of textbooks for new curriculum. Yao Educhum, that's the Ministry of Insultable, is up.